All right, and we're live.
Awesome. What's up, guys? Shawn Bowen, Full Circle Investment Group, and wholesalingoutofthebox.com. Back at it again with another lunchtime live. Today, as Ashley had in the header, we are talking to you guys about scheduling and what that looks like in your time blocking. How are you doing this to give yourself the amount of time each day, a certain day of the week, and then certain times of the day in order to do your follow-ups or do your cold calls or do this business in general, right? So this is something that I did a long time ago, and it still works till today with our guys and what they do. But this was something that I heard, and I forgot where I heard it from. Either out of a book or somebody was doing like one of these, and it was just a click moment, right? And what happened was just that. I had a moment of clarity of what I needed to do because I felt so disorganized. So one of the things that I highly recommend to anybody is taking the time to block out your schedule, right? And I think I've done on this before, but like draw out a clock and what your day looks like. Most of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, are doing a full-time job, right? So you're guaranteed to be somewhere at some time for a certain amount of time. But during that day, is there any extra time that you have in there? Maybe a lunchtime, maybe something in the middle of the day, during your day that you have some downtime that you're going to block off so that it allows you to do these few things that are requirements for what you have to do for this business to make success in it, right? No matter what, marketing has to go down. And then no matter what, calls have to be made. And no matter what, appointments have to be gone on, right? Ultimately, to get the contract in order to do the deal, right? And then, of course, you got to sell the deal. So what that looks like, and this I'll break it down the way that I did it, because if you guys don't know my background, I come from a contractor's background. And from there, I moved into, doing real estate full time. So I had to be the contractor during the day. And during that, I definitely had some downtime. So how did I do that? Going to appointments where I had contractor appointments I had to go to where I'd end up going to place a bid, pull the numbers, and I'd have to write that up, right? So I would go and do that. And when I was done with it, I would go either to like a Starbucks or I would go to a Panera or I would just go somewhere to park, right? And I would literally, and this was before I was really good with like systems of CRMs, but I would have a notebook and I knew from a calendar to my notebook that I had to follow up with certain people and I had to make new calls. So I was segmenting those time frames, right? I was taking 30 minutes at a time and saying that I was just going to do follow-up phone calls. And then from there, I was going to take another 30 minutes to do just new phone calls, right? So after that, I would be in a break. I got to do the rest of my day. Okay. So go do the rest of the day, either go out to active job sites, go out to get more bids, whatever I had to do as the contractor, right? Running around job sites, grabbing materials, all the normal stuff as being a contractor. So after that, I would segment my next half hour to building what would ultimately be like my buyer's list, right? But having to take the time to do that. So either I had gone and driven for dollars earlier in the day, the week, whatever, and then wrote down some addresses, took some pictures of properties with permits in them. I was trying to contact those people, right? So I'd have to go on either Facebook and try to find them, or I'd go on to like just computer anywhere on internet and try to find them, Google their LLC name, ultimately just track them down, right? From there, try to make a contact with them and tell, notice and ask questions of like what they did, how they do it, and what they're looking to buy, right? In order to build this buyer's list. Looking back now and it's all like, man, it's a lot of work. You guys got it easy these days. But that is just what I was doing. So that was my time blocking, right? So 30 minutes for follow-up, 30 minutes for new phone calls. That gave me my first hour. And then I would go in and do the hour to 30 minutes again of just trying to talk to buyers, build buyers list. And then now let's talk about the marketing, right? So like the marketing is ultimately what got me the calls anyway. So what happened is I was ultimately getting this marketing out, right? Because I was taking the time to say I would have to pull the list from the courthouse, pull the list from whatever city it was at. That's its own time blocking, right? So same thing. You got drive time to certain places. You got to go in, sit down, and either grab the information, or you got to ask for it and get it printed and pay for it. Again, I say this in like an old school fashion, but this was the same thing you're doing to now, but it's still just time blocking. What does it look like to segment your time in order to get these big goals that you're trying to hit, right? The biggest thing I can say and the most important thing I can say is, like, each week you should have a set goal of amount of people that you want to follow up with, call new, and then marketing. Like, that's all this is, right? And building your buyers list is for sure a part of this, but finding the deal is the most important part, right? Like, if you don't have a deal, what's the point of going to a buyer? You don't have anything to sell them, right? So people say, and I think this is very true, find a true deal. There's buyers all around, especially in today's market. You guys are we are in a market that's like really hot. There's very low inventory on the open market. What's in the back channel market that are where the deals are, right? That's where you're going to shine as a wholesaler. That's where you're going to get the most out of doing this business, is controlling the deal. So again, taking a small break here, guys, but if you're coming and join us, let us know where you're coming in from. If you're watching the follow-up here, let us know where you saw this at. We put this out all over the place. I think we're on YouTube. We're obviously on Facebook. We got a podcast channel. I love to get feedback from you guys. If this stuff is helping, if it's stuff that's even worth listening to, do we keep these going for you? We've got a certain amount of these that we'll turn off, or we get to a certain amount, we'll stop. And then they'll be in a place where you can go and access them. But where are you guys coming from? Are you seeing this information? Is it helpful today? Remember, we're talking about time blocking. What is it that is allowing you to get the best use of your time, knowing you have a full-time job? Maybe you have kids, you have family, you got life, right? But with all of that, you have to have a goal that you're trying to set and hit on a daily, a weekly, and a monthly, right? In order to get even back to your annual you want to get to. What does your time blocking look like? What does it look like when you're trying to get all this put together so that you can really have like the time to do this business? Because it's not easy, right? Like, there's a lot of directions you're getting pulled. So time blocking is very important, guys. Segmenting your time off, figuring out where your time is in the day and committing those hours. What can you take out of your life that is maybe one of the things that has a lot of hours in it? And right now, I don't think a lot of this is happening, so it's fortunate. But sports, to watch sports on TV, that's not going on right now. So that should be one thing that's gone. You can't spend 5 hours on a Sunday watching sports. Where can that time be spent better? Can you do the marketing? Can you do the phone calls? Can you do the follow-ups? Can you do the new calls? All this kind of stuff is what matters when you're trying to figure out your time. And this time blocking is a massive piece of that. So to write this out, segment it out, show what it looks like. We do this in our private group as well as on these calls on Sunday, where it's a very big eye-opening moment. Okay, everybody's like, I don't have the time to do this business. Where do you not have the time, right? Because I think we all realize we have a lot more time than we think if you segment it out and show what your day looks like. And you can figure out how to make it work. So it's very important to do this. It's very important to take this time, draw it out, figure it out. And the next part of this is being consistent with it. Being consistent with following up to the same tune every single day, right? How many calls am I hitting? How many contracts am I getting out? Or in this case, it would be how many calls out, how many calls in, and then how many appointments am I going on, ultimately to get contracts and then to sell those contracts and then revenue, right? I mean, there's 6 things, guys, in order to just reverse engineer your cycle here. And that goes back to the whole taking the time to build your schedule out. We had a gentleman that I've worked with before talking about he was military and how does it look for him to schedule his time. He found almost 4 extra hours in order to do it, right? And he didn't think he had it. But once he sat down and took the time and blocked it out and figured out where he had some extra time, he was able to cut some things away that allowed him to pick up that time in order to do this business. Ultimately, guys, this is a full-time gig, right? Until you build the team, until you build the people around you, everything's you. I've been there. I know what that feels like, and it's a lot of work. But then part of that is building a team around you to let you do what you do best, and then bring those people on to let them do what they do best. And the first part I can tell you guys are going to want to get off your plate is the marketing, and that's building the list, and it's a lot, right? It can be very draining, but it has to be done in order to get your phone to ring, in order you have people to follow up with, in order to even have new calls and that kind of stuff. So, is there anybody here that has any questions or any comments? If you guys are here, let us know where you're coming in from. Give us a comment over here on the section that just, I think Ashley's got the link up there if you guys signed up. But let us know where you're seeing this. And let us know if these lunchtime lives are helpful for you and you're getting good information, it's beneficial. That's stuff you can actually use and put into play. And you're seeing success with it. Or is it just a waste of time and it's not worth your time at all? Let us know, because want to see how we've got a set amount of time. We're going to end up shutting these things down and doing them because we're going to stop after a certain amount. But I want to know, is there anything specific that you guys want to hear, talk about, learn about, that we can help you with, right? This is what we're here for, is to help you guys. These are the best way of getting as much information out at one time to multiple different people at multiple different times. So I love these things. It's a lot of fun. I love watching other people succeed. So guys, this whole talk today was about time blocking and about how scheduling yourself to be able to hit your goal, which is, hey, I need to get a hold of 100 people this week. I need to go on 10 appointments this week. And I need to get 5 contracts because I know, let's just say half of them are going to fall out for title issues or issues that happen with inspections. And I'm only going to get 2 to close, right? And then what's that profit going to be? And ultimately to get into an average profit. That's a KPI. And that's what we talk about a lot in our company. So, yeah, guys, hopefully this was a good one today for you. Time blocking is a massive piece, and it's a huge, huge contingency in your business that if you don't do it, it's kind of like throwing mud against the wall. You don't really know where you're going. You know if it's going to stick. So it gives you direction. And it allows you to really focus on it, and allows you to easier obtain those goals of getting to how many marketing pieces am I getting out a week? How many phone calls am I getting out to new people? How many follow-up phone calls am I getting from people that call me for my marketing? How many appointments am I getting on? And then ultimately, how many deals am I selling to make rev? And that's the name of the game, guys. So hopefully these are helpful. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And if there's anything you guys ever need, please reach out to us at wholesalingoutofthebox.com. Always reach out to us at our sites. Please join us over at Virginia Wholesale Real Estate. That's our Facebook group, and that's an open group. And then, of course, check out our podcast at Wholesaling Out of the Box as well. A lot of information there, a lot of interviews, and always more stuff to come. So, guys, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. If you guys need anything, we're always here to help you. Talk to you soon. Later.